welcome back to Radio Taiwan International. You're listening to Geek Out. What's your cup of tea, tickles your fancy, or floats your boat? Join us as we share passions from people in Taiwan and around the world. I'm your host, Michelle Chang, and today in the studio we have...
Joanna.
What are we geeking out about today?
We are geeking out about freediving.
Yeah. I was talking to Joanna on Instagram and mentioned that we have never had a freediver in before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have had people who probably have done it, but no one to talk about freediving. And I'm excited because if you guys been following my journey, my scuba journey, I've just recently learned and gotten certified last year. And it's been really fun.
Newbie.
I'm a newbie. Yeah, right. I have 19 dives. That's it.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
I'm getting there. Definitely want to step into another ocean hobby or sport.
Yep.
Tell us about your journey. Like, how did you get into freediving?
Wow. I always loved the ocean. I was born in Hong Kong. And then I work in the Silicon Valley for like a decade. And always like, oh, California, you have the ocean and sun and all that.
Oh, yeah, always.
But it never happened to me until I came to Taiwan.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you went to the beach in California, right?
Yeah, it's
That's
freezing
cold water.
And I'm in North Cal.
Yeah, exactly. I actually was born in the Bay Area, so I totally know.
Uh-huh.
Small world, right?
Right, yeah.
That water is freezing.
So, even in summer.
I think Mark Twain said that he's never experienced a winter as cold as summer in San Francisco.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so it's not just me.
No,
that's
it's
nice.
It's everybody.
Yeah, so every summer I try to get to the ocean, and all I can do is we just sit on the sand and then then have some sun, and that's it. I never actually get into the water.
Right. So you came to Taiwan. How many years ago did you try freediving?
I've been here since 2015.
Okay.
I actually started out surfing.
Oh, yes.
Because I think it's like the easiest. At that time, 2015, freediving in Taiwan wasn't even
a
word yet.
It's been on a super steep increase in popularity.
Indeed. Yes.
But you started surfing.
Yes, I started surfing for like 2 to 3 years in the Dongbeijiao, Fulong area.
Oh, yeah.
And then one day I actually met a new friend, and then he took me to like a fun dive in Dongbeijiao. And I love it. It's like he needs to pull me down to the water. So we were like snorkeling. We did that.
Yeah.
Very common.
Longdong, right?
鼻头角.
Oh, 鼻头角. Okay, so
5 meter
listeners who might not know, Dongbeijiao is actually a very popular like training ground and also diving ground for people who are snorkeling, freediving, surfing, scuba.
Diving, yeah.
There's so much traffic underwater some days. It's actually kind of like a night market.
Yeah, it is during the weekends. Yeah.
Yeah. So your friend took you for like a discover?
Yeah, it was just like it's 5 meter deep. So it's like, and then I've been like already scuba dive certified for a long time. And so we were doing some fun dive, and he was just trying to show me how to actually duck dive down to like a 2 or 3 meter.
Is it like a duck? I'm imagining a duck.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yes,
Oh, perfect.
Yes. Oh, one day I was actually like looking at the pond and I saw a duck diving in it. It's exactly how it works.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's such great visual.
That's how they name it. It's like the
cute.
downward dog, It's the same thing. It's like how the animal works, and we just follow them.
Oh, I like it. Very intuitive.
So then I was like, well, okay, so I did that experience, and I'm like, oh, it's so cool. And I might really want to do it all over, because in Taiwan, the water temperature in general, in winter is like 22, 23. And then like in summer, it's like awesome, like 28, 29.
Yes.
So I was like super excited that I can actually spend time in the water the whole time.
Yeah. For those of you who operate in Fahrenheit, that means the water here never really drops below, say, 65 degrees Fahrenheit. In the summer, it actually maintains itself in the high 70s, low 80s, which is really comfortable.
Really comfortable.
Very comfortable. It's nice. So it is. It's a great place to actually do lots of water activities.
Exactly. I was back to Taipei. Going to Dongbeijiao, you still need a car and all that. Yeah. So I'm like, can I do that in Taipei, right? So eventually I found a school that teach freediving. I'm like, that's awesome. That was 2017.
And it was just, I actually attribute the popularity of freediving to social media.
Oh yeah, all the pictures,
the beautiful photos.
Yep.
People, freediving it can be taken photos of that is really gorgeous.
Right.
Whereas scuba diving, nobody looks good in scuba gear.
It's too heavy. It's like too much stuff, right?
You look like some kind of mechanized robot underwater or something.
It limits your mobility too.
Right. Yeah. Your face is just you've got the regulator in it. Nobody looks good that way. But freediving, I've seen some pictures that are beautiful, just gorgeous.
Scuba diving, you cannot hold your breath.
No.
That's one thing. Like
You're
a
not
big
allowed.
no holding breath, which means that if you take a picture, it's all bubbles everywhere.
Mhm.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
And then the mobility actually limits you to, you cannot do upside down. You cannot do like,
I mean, you can, but
fancy
you're not
moves.
supposed to.
Exactly. So so for me, I was like, initially I was like, well, because I surf, and then sometimes in summer, actually there is no wave.
Yes.
It's because of the tides and all that. So there's no wave, and then we were at the beach and doing nothing. So I was like, well, there's like a line in Chinese. They were saying 有浪冲浪，没浪就潜水.
Yeah.
So when you have wave, you surf. When the water's calm, then you free dive.
Nice.
I'm like, that's awesome, right? So
That's-
it's like every
that's
day I can be in the water.
Yes.
That is the whole purpose of
Yeah.
like.
I'm really happy to meet another ocean soul. Like you feel just seawater, right? You just feel better in all aspects of your
Yep.
life. Your stress decreases. I think most people are like this.
Yeah.
So it is it's great that we have that opportunity to
There's
do
actually
these.
theory back up what you feel actually.
Really?
Yeah, it actually water helps us to regulate our nervous system.
Oh,
Yeah,
the presence of it, being in it.
correct. And that our skin, when we actually touch the water, have contact with water, because we have a lot of nerve endings there.
Yep.
It will trigger something freediver loves a lot. It's called mammalian diving reflex, MDR.
Okay.
That helps us to hold our breath longer.
I can imagine this is instinct. Like it triggers a reflex that
Yeah.
so your body knows that you're supposed to hold
Yeah.
your breath.
Yeah.
Kind of like babies.
Yes,
Before they
exactly.
even learn to walk, they can
Exactly.
swim.
Exactly.
So you learned to freedive. You found a company in roughly 2017.
I actually trained for 3 years, and then by 2020, end of 2020, 2021, I decided to become a freediving instructor and a yoga teacher. Yes. It's always back in my mind, I want to do something with a passion that is relates to ocean and soul
Yes.
and healing.
Yes. Please, where do you work? What is the company that that people can go find?
My studio is at Zhongxiao Xinsen, right in the center of the Taipei city.
Oh, that's convenient.
I chose that because my background has been in high tech or like corporate jobs and all that. So I know like the stress and the pressure that like most of our, people like
Absolutely.
who work 9 to 5, 5 days a week and all that, like the stress of it. And freediving literally helps me to find emotional wellness.
Yes.
And that is the reason why I want to be a teacher. I want to
Share this.
that. Yeah. Tell people how. So it's not just like by skills. It's not like, hey, let's learn something, a new skill. It's more about like understanding yourself, like through freediving, through yourself in the water, through challenging an adventure, that you will see yourself, the flaws, and also the good side and the bad side.
Yeah. When I was learning breathing techniques in scuba diving to, quote unquote, conserve air and, extend your time underwater, the techniques are kind of like meditation.
It is, exactly.
And
That's
I
why I put
imagine
yoga
it's
in it.
similar. Yeah, it's similar.
Exactly. Yep.
So
The calmness of it. So the yoga, it's all about like be in the present moment. And as a freediver, you have to be in the present moment, because then you have to turn all your radar towards back to your body,
yeah.
towards your mind. And that's why I call my studio as soul free.
Soul free.
Yeah.
So is that how we can find you on Instagram as well?
Yeah. Soul free dive.
Dive.
It's like
Soul
we
free
put
dive.
like soul free dive. Soul free dive.
So yes, please search Soul Free Dive on Instagram.
Yeah.
And the studio is near Zhongxiao Xinsen
Yep.
MRT stop.
Yes.
If you are in Taipei.
Yes.
So that's great. Wow. I'm so happy you became an instructor, because I was a teacher, just an English teacher for quite a while. But if you teach well, then you can spread the love of what you love.
Exactly.
And you can help people find, peace and, fun and, find a different aspect of their life that maybe they never knew was there.
Yeah.
And it's rewarding.
Yeah. And then when everybody says like, well, do what you like and do what you love. I think in my whole life, I've been trying to find that passion. And then finally, like the right place, right time. And
You know what they say, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I'm actually healthier than ever in my life.
So which brings me to kind of like the technical aspect of it, because I actually went to about 6 months worth of personal training in order to get ready for scuba. To be fair, I was super out of shape. Like I could not do one flight of stairs.
Right.
without being like out of breath. So I knew because, for safety's sake at least, then I should be of a minimum fitness level in order to do scuba diving.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did was I put myself through a training process in order to bring my fitness level up to where I would be comfortable scuba diving and not feel like scared or overexerted. So I imagine it's the same for freediving.
Yeah, indeed. And that's why I put yoga into it.
Yes.
Again, like my students are usually those who work 9 to 5. And so they sit a lot, 8 hours, 10 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so in one position for like 8 hours long term actually like limits your mobility
It
and your
messes up your
flexibility.
body.
Yeah, it does. So, and even like how you walk and how you stand, we'll have to reteach everything again because it's all about your buoyancy, like scuba diving, right? And then now that we don't have a tank, we don't have the BCD to do that, like we use our body to do that.
Exactly.
To balance it. So you really need to know like, oh, actually our body can move like this.
Yeah.
That's a discovery for a lot of people.
I mean, it is. It's huge. It's like a lot of people don't actually connect, I think it's the word.
Correct.
Connect
Yes.
with their own body.
The mind and the body. Like my brain knows what are you talking about. It's like, Joanna, I know what you're talking about, but my body isn't there yet. I'm like, yeah, I see that too.
But hopefully it's not that steep of a learning curve and people kind of intuitively pick things up, hopefully.
Not really. Like through the yoga practices, like 1 or 2 classes in yoga will help you like I will bring all the awareness of like body parts. So your brain and body like start talking.
Yeah.
And then that helps a lot. Like that would actually, we saw a lot of like drastic improvement in the water.
Oh, it's brilliant. There are a lot of scuba retreats, scuba resorts that also incorporate yoga into, your daily activities because it does teach you to be very aware of yourself, your body, and it I guess concentrate on the here and now and your own breathing, right? So all of these is very closely related.
Yeah, so that's why freediving and yoga is all about like, and why do I call it soul free? It's really just to see yourself, like know yourself and get to know yourself again. It's more like that, and then that's how you free your soul.
Yes, oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. So a lot of people who, if I mention, freediving too, will regard it with fear. I kind of do want to address that because, there's a Netflix documentary, The Deepest Breath or whatever it's called.
Yes.
And it's scary.
It is.
It's really dramatically filmed and someone dies. Like, sorry, spoiler. But in the very beginning of it, and it's right. And then just last year, I think it was, there a couple of freedivers died. Yeah, down south.
Injuries and accidents.
Yeah. So it is a sport.
It is a sport.
And it does have rules for the sake of safety that you should follow. Yeah. But a lot of people are really, they really feel like this sport is super dangerous.
You're right on in describing freediving as a sport. So aside from all the pretty pictures on Instagram, it is a sport. It's a new skill. It has risk. And that's why we need to take it very seriously.
Oh, yes.
Following all the body systems. Take a course with a certified instructor.
Oh, yes.
Right? And then not that you take a course and then you can do it. You need practice and make it like muscle memory.
Muscle memory. It's like subconscious habit. It's just something that you just do.
Yeah.
So there are in Taiwan, I know PADI, PADI, does freediving certification.
Yep, that's what we do. I do PADI.
Oh, you do PADI?
Yes,
okay.
I do PADI.
I think there's also SSI here.
Yeah.
But
ADA,
right?
AIDA, SSI, Mochavnos.
Yep.
CMAS, CMAS. There are multiple international certified agencies who offer freediving courses.
Yes.
And I think we have been and for somebody who's like, oh, I really want to be hey, signing up for a class. We usually tell people hey, it's not about the agency because all these are international certified. It's really find an instructor that fits your need, that understands you, and then know your learning habits, I guess.
Yes.
How you learn, it's a big thing.
Yeah, this is a huge piece of advice that a lot of people people who already know how to do it will give beginners. It's not about the actual company. It's about you and you finding the right instructor.
Correct.
because your communication should be on the same wavelength, and they
Yeah.
have to understand your own learning curve and
Yes.
your skills and abilities. So,
Definitely encourage people to talk to the instructor directly and just to get a vibe.
Yeah.
Sometimes personality, sometimes just communication
Yeah.
styles different.
but I do think, yes, step one is a discovery.
Yeah.
For a lot of people who are kind of, scared or worried, or they
Yeah.
like don't know what it is and are
Yeah.
curious, they do discover free dives just the same as they do discover scuba.
Right.
And can you explain what happens on a discover?
Sure. So we actually I have like two recommendations. You can actually choose one. One is that if you're super afraid of water and then you're not good at it, you're not a good swimmer. Okay, that's a skills-based problem.
Okay.
Then I would actually recommend to sign up for like a kind of a pre-freediving course. It's like 3 lessons on like, hey, let's go back to the pool and then let's go do some breath hold. It's more like a training and a class,
Yep.
but on very elementary skills on like snorkeling per se, / a little bit of freediving. And that will be more focused on, it's much longer because free class, so like 3 times 2 hours, 6 hours. That is more kind of like systematic, more really like drawn into like, hey, take care of your emotions, take care of your muscles.
Yes.
So that's more like a pre-training course. Or if you're already like a scuba diver, you are a good swimmer, I just really want to know before I invest in a freediving course, then you can do a discovery totally, no problem. Then depends on your skills, like how comfortable you are in the open water, or like do you want to do it in a pool. We actually have a pool that's 20 meter deep in
I've seen
Taichung.
it. I've seen it. It's really cool.
It's super safe because it's a controlled environment. And so depending on your comfort level, we can choose we can do it even in 5 meter in Taipei, or 20 meter in Taichung, or open water in Dongbeijiao. It will be a 2-hour sessions. Like we can take you to like, okay, what does that mean to like the feeling of wearing the long fins?
Yes.
Right? Long fins, not the snorkel fins, very different. The feeling of like do a free immersion, like we have a buoy set up, and then you check out your equalization, which is super important if you go deep,
Yes.
right? And then also like kind of get a feel of like your buoyancy, right?
Yep.
How you flow without all the gears as a scuba diver, and then check out the ocean, check out the corals, check out the fish in the most kind of freestyle way, because we have no gear at all except your fins, and have fun, and we take some videos and pictures.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
The purpose of the Discover is to, give people a taste. And I think it does a great job at hooking people into the hobby / sport, because especially if you go do open water, like go directly into, if you are comfortable enough to go directly into the ocean,
Right.
because the world under there is so different.
Yes.
And there's some really neat environments that you can go check out. Obviously, there's fish life, but there's also coral
landscape,
growth,
right?
landscape.
Yeah.
I am also, I have to say, super jealous of freediver gear. It is so cute
Yeah.
compared to scuba diver gear. I don't understand why they're not producing. It's 2024. They got to be producing more patterns and fin designs and things for scuba divers. Come on.
That's very true. That's very true.
I
I don't know. Yeah, like wetsuits and all that, right? All the glamours and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, freediver stuff is nice looking, and I think it would also, that also pulls people into the hobby.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
It's pretty.
I have like 5 wetsuits for different water temperature.
Yeah, right. Me, I just picked up. I have 2, simply because I'm a beginner
Right.
with the scuba
Yeah.
diving. But I imagine eventually, as I go, there will be more stuff.
Yeah, different temperature. It's like heels, for ladies.
Yeah,
The same. Cars
absolutely.
for guys, maybe.
So, for new people looking to get into freediving and just haven't had the excuse or the reason yet, what would you say? Any advice?
First thing is really talk to an instructor. Don't start talking to friends yet, because friends will give you something not quite not sure whether the source are coming from. So talk to someone who is like certified and trained.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
a good
that's
idea.
super important, because I have some students who come in and talk to me asking questions, and then they say, oh, my friend said this, my friend said that, and then eventually, and then after they took the theory class, then they're like, oh, okay, now I know what's correct and what's not.
Yep. Which
Yeah,
is very
I think
important.
that is the most important thing, is the mindset and the knowledge part.
Right.
Yeah, that's the first step.
Oh, I love it. Anything else that you would like to tell noobs or beginners?
I think understanding like the purpose of freediving. A lot of people come in for, let me just check. I just want to be in the sea, swimming with the turtle, see some dolphins. I think that's the fun of freediving. You
Yes.
see the whole, like all the mammals and animals like dolphins, whales.
Just immediately just jump off the boat. You don't
Turtles.
have to suit up or kit up like scuba divers
Yeah,
do.
I think one of the mindset that we have to be kind of like clarify is that we don't have to like really everybody has to swim beyond like 10 meter or 20 meter. Let's put it that way. So taking a course just to go down to 3 to 5 meter, it's already good enough as a beginner.
Yeah.
Because you need to love a sport before you will, want to spend more time training it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so I think the depth, all the risks that you heard, it's more from the people who are very into
Deep diving.
training,
Oh.
who are into like the numbers.
Right.
That's one thing that we can talk about like later on. Like like what is the difference between like a fun dive versus like a training,
Yeah,
a free dive,
competitive,
a
right,
free diver
competitive
training.
freediver.
So then it's very different. If you look into the numbers, you're like, I have to get that, like the eagle or that. Like if you have a specific goals for freediving, it's actually not the right mindset as for beginners because you still need to actually gain more experiences, practice your skills.
Yep, practice your skills, ingrain them like muscle memory, and create these habits. So.
I think the first thing is like have fun.
Yeah,
Definitely have fun, relax, talk to someone certified.
Yay! Thank you so much for geeking out with me, Joanna.
You're so welcome.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning into Radio Taiwan International. I'm Michelle Chang, and we'll be back next Thursday with another episode of Geek Out.